Hello, Jeff M. Brown, legal writer with the State Bar of Wisconsin here at the annual meeting and conference at the Grand Geneva in Lake Geneva, back in person for the first time in 3 years. I'm here with Dina Weldon, who is one of the panelists from a CLE that just concluded on rural practice. And Dina, tell us a little bit about your practice. You are up in near Hayward with Lakuta Ray.
Yes.
And you talked about, tell us a little bit how you came to that position.
Oh, absolutely. So I worked at Wisconsin Judicare for the past 5 years or so, and I moved up north to be closer to a lot of my clients, which were in further north in rural Wisconsin. And then I got an opportunity to work for the Lakuta Ray Band that's in Sawyer County, Wisconsin, and it was a great opportunity. And so I just took that very recently in the past 3 months.
So Judicare in Marathon County, in Wausau, and,
Yes.
then a lot of your clients were even further north than that.
Yes, so many of my clients were about 3 hours away, which is where most of my clients were for Judicare. So I decided to relocate up north, so I was just easier in my travel schedule for all my clients, and so then I got more opportunities when I moved north.
You talked in your presentation, about some of the opportunities that exist in greater Wisconsin up north, beyond just being in private practice. Can you talk a little bit about those? Obviously, you're with a tribe. You're with Judicare, which is a nonprofit. Talk a little bit about some of the non-private practice opportunities that people might not necessarily think are out there when they think of greater Wisconsin.
When you think of all the other opportunities out there, of course there is, like I said, or you mentioned, Wisconsin Judicare, which is the nonprofit up there, and they're always hiring staff because we have such a huge service area, 33 counties to cover, so we always need more staff for that. But governmental-wise, all of those counties have corp counsel that they need, judges, commissioners, public defenders, district attorneys, and there's so many postings of those on the Wisconsin Jobs website. They're begging for individuals, 3Ls, to come up and be an assistant DA right away in any of those counties. There's just such a shortage. There's also, of course, city attorneys that are needed, and then any other legal counsel you need for any boards or any other corporations that are up there. And there's just a lack of individuals going up there, but with so much growth opportunities. I could probably become a commissioner or judge in my county a lot quicker in Sawyer just because there's just less other options, less other people.
Right. Basically, Sawyer County has the same legal need. The county as a municipality has the same legal needs that Milwaukee County has.
And like many of the counties down here, these counties up there, the population's exploding, especially during COVID, which I don't think I really talked about in my presentation, but during COVID and populations are booming up in the Northwoods. People are, now that we can move and live away from work and work by Zoom from home, people are moving up to their cabins, selling their homes, and this population is really growing. I know many of these counties are trying to add, more judges to their courthouse, and so the need's only going to grow as the population continues to increase.
What do you say to younger attorneys who may prefer a bigger city just for the amenities like restaurants, the ability to meet people? I think of things like where am I going to find Indian food if I move to Sawyer County? Where am I going to find a used bookstore? Things like those types of amenities. How do you answer people that have those types of concerns?
My personal recommendation would be go up anywhere first to visit. You don't have to go to Hayward that has a population of 3,000 people. You don't have to go do that. But you can go to Eau Claire that has a wonderful population of 90,000, 100,000.
It's bigger than Janesville.
Yeah, bigger than Janesville. It has all the amenities that you want. It's only an hour away from the Twin Cities, but you get a little bit cheaper housing and you get a little less of a commute. I just think you should try other options. Again, Eau Claire's a great middle ground that I like to say, but go visit. Summer's the great time to visit. You might be really surprised.
So dip your toe in by maybe going to Eau Claire instead of doing a cannonball and just say Phillips.
Yes. Yes, I don't know if I'm ready for Phillips either, but there's Superior up there, Lake Superior, which is right next to Duluth, which is a big city in Minnesota. You could go to Hudson, which is right across from Minneapolis. You don't have to go all rural, but you can still go to a city that's a little smaller and has all the amenities, but you get the perks of some rural life as well.
Another thing you mentioned in your presentation that I resonated with, because when I was a lawyer, I went into government work for a couple different reasons, but one was I was given more responsibility sooner. You were talking about how some of the opportunities you had in your career at this point, because you were working up north, greater Wisconsin, with the tribe, you had an opportunity to do a whole bunch of things that it would have taken you much longer to do, I take it, if you were in a much more populated county. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely. So, I mean, this is all based on my experience and talking with other classmates of mine from law school. Right out of the gate, I had to go to court. I think my first year of practice, I had a 9-hour divorce hearing. I got to do an amicus brief and a court of appeals brief right away, and it's because there's no one else on my staff to do it. If it's going to get done and I want to move this case forward and take it to the Court of Appeals, it's my job to brief it. It's my job to go to court for it. There's just, you got to learn right away. You're not going to be, babied, but if you go to be a district attorney in one of these counties with 2 DAs, you're going to learn very quickly on how to do a jury trial and how to do some of these homicide cases that you might not do if you're a DA in Milwaukee for many years. So I think you just have to adapt and you have to learn faster, to be honest.
What about the last question, another potential benefit, pace of life up there? I don't know where you went to college or where you went to law school, but I'm assuming it was someplace more populous than up there. Pace of life, slower, more amenable?
I actually really love the pace of life. Sometimes it's a little too slow, but usually the profession counters that pretty quickly. I really like it. I get up, when I come home, I have a lake, I can go paddleboard on right away. I think everyone has just a little bit of a better attitude, and everyone understands each other a little bit better. I think it's a little more camaraderie overall, and I like not having this crazy pace of life. I don't have to worry about traffic. It's actually a really nice benefit, and after law school, it was very much appreciated to move up north and to breathe and to figure out, to focus on my future career.
Mosquitoes a little bit bigger, though, up north?
A little bigger and a little more populous. Don't forget the ticks.
Ticks,
that's one too.
Okay.
But I mean, every place has their pros and
Sure.
cons. But some people get to summer in their cabin, and I get to live in my cabin year round and go snowshoeing, right out my front door in the winter. So there's always pros and cons no matter where you live. But it's definitely something I find valuable.
Great. Well, thank you, Dina Weldon, for talking with us about the benefits of practicing in greater Wisconsin, and certainly hope that some more lawyers will give it a thought after hearing this interview and your presentation today. Thank you.
Thank you.